Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Marketing Mix. I'm on my lonesome today, and today we're going to talk about the recent changes that Google and Yahoo have implemented that really affects people who send mass emails or use email marketing to communicate en masse. Now, it affects everyone. Really, because every email service provider will want you to be a safe sender. They'll want to know that you're sending good emails rather than spam or trying to spoof email addresses or trying to con people out of money or whatever it is. But it affects everyone. But these changes specifically affect you if you send to people on your list who have Gmail or Yahoo email addresses. Okay. Now, the changes came into effect on the 1st of February, but don't panic because there is still time for you to get compliant and apply the changes that need to be applied so that your email address, your domain name is authenticated and Google, Yahoo, other email providers see you as a safe sender. So what is it all about? So basically, it's about Google and Yahoo wanting to reduce the amount of spam from bulk senders. And that's good news, right? So people who are genuinely sending emails to their list, to an opted-in list of people who've given you permission, this is good news for us because Google and Yahoo are now going, well, we want to help these people get into the right inboxes. And what we want to stop is that those bulk senders who just send lots of spam. And that means that you need to authenticate your domain name. And the domain name is your send name. So in my case, it's marketingbymanal.com. So they're asking you to authenticate that to make sure that you are a safe sender. Now, authenticating emails really has grown in importance over a number of years, and the goal is to make sure that people who really want your emails get them. And that's a good thing. And I don't know about you, but I mean, I've got a Yahoo email. In fact, I've got 3 Yahoo email addresses. That's for a tale for another day. But I actually don't want to receive all those bulk emails. And I don't actually check my junk box in those email folders, in those email inboxes. But, you need to make sure that you're compliant and that you're doing the right things. And email service providers like Constant Contact, and I know Constant Contact has been doing this because they've been doing it for a number of years. They've been authenticating emails for a number of years because I did go in and really authenticate my email address. But essentially, there's a few more steps now, and if you've done it before, there's a few more steps now that you need to complete to make sure that you have authenticated emails. So let's break this down. What is email authentication? So it is a way to verify that the email is coming from who it claims to be coming from, and it's not a spoof. So I've sometimes received emails from my email address, and I know that I'm not sending myself those emails. So it's to make sure that they're not spoofed. And there have been different approaches over the years, but the current best practice now is to authenticate your emails with what is called DKIM. So it's Domain Keys Identified Mail. And this basically uses cryptograph signatures to sign the messages as they are sent. And the domain owner, so in this case me, publishes this public key to my DNS for receiving mailbox providers to use, so that they can make sure that that I am a safe sender. So, as I said, your email service provider might be authenticating for you anyway. I know Constant Contact has been, and they've been doing it for years. And we're still battling with spam. We all still get a lot of spam emails. So it really needs to be something that you're not afraid of. You're not afraid. This is not a big thing to stop you getting into people's inboxes. This is a good thing that is designed to make your emails easily get into the inboxes of people who have said they want to get them from you. Okay, so essentially what you might have seen before, if you have your own domain name, your email service provider might have added a little bit at the end of your domain name. So for me, it would have been Manal@marketingbymanal.com, and there would have been some kind of bit at the end that Constant Contact used to authenticate my email address. But now what you're being asked to do is to do that yourself. Okay, so within your email tool, and I will post some links. I'll post links to Constant Contact, MailerLite, and MailChimp after this live is over. I'll post some links in the comments to their support pages to help you understand how to do this authentication. Okay, now this is self-authentication, and it is for anyone who has a specific domain name. So that means that you have your email sending email is from a specific domain, and like I do at marketingbymanal.com. So I have I went into my Constant Contact account, did this the other week, and got the key. And what you need to do is go into the place where your domain has been provided from. So my domain I bought from 123reg. So you go into there and you follow the instructions about where to paste this code that your email service provider will give you. And once you've done that, it can take a couple of days for it to cycle through the system before your sending domain name has been authenticated. Now, this self-authentication can only be used with domain names that you own. Okay, so that means ones that you've bought from domain name providers like 123reg, GoDaddy, those kinds of places where you've bought your own domain name. Now, if you are using a free webmail to send your emails like Google, like Gmail, like Outlook, like Yahoo, you should check with your email service provider that they are authenticating on your behalf, and they should do that for you. Constant Contact is doing that for its senders that use those free email services. Now, I just want to stop here and talk about brand reputation. So it is worth having your own domain name and self-authenticating, because it is going to help your brand and your email. It's going to help you to start building that brand reputation, and it can help you stand out in inboxes. So if you're following best practices, this is going to help to improve your deliverability to the inbox. So I was looking at some information that Constant Contact sent out the other day, and on average, their customers have seen a 10 to 20% increase in opens and clicks on using this self-authentication. So if you have been thinking about buying your own domain name and using your own domain name to send from, it's actually worth doing, because it does help you to build that reputation. And let's face it, some of it is looking a little bit more professional. So rather than sending from your business name at gmail.com, if you have your own domain name, I guess it makes you look like a proper business. People have a little bit more confidence in your brand. They think that you're more trustworthy, that you're not a fly-by-night kind of person, like, you know, you're there 1 minute and not. And it helps, you know, if you're being responsible with how you use your email list and how you send your emails, it helps those email providers trust you as a sender, and it keeps you out of that junk folder. So make sure that, you know, if you've been thinking about buying your own domain name, it's a good idea to do that, you know, to help bolster your business reputation. So what should you be doing next? I've talked a little bit about self-authentication. So the first thing you really need to figure out is who is your domain host. Now, this is not where your website is hosted. This is the place that you bought your domain name. It's the place where you bought the www. Whatever your company name is. That is your domain host, okay? If you don't know who, you know, if you've got a web designer who helped you set that up, they'll be able to find that out for you. You must be paying for your domain. You're probably paying annually. Have a look and see who you're paying to understand who that is. Then what you need to do is go in and really log into your email tool. And each one will be slightly different in terms of how you do this. And like I said, I will post links to some support pages in the comments. So come back and look at those. But what you need to do is follow the instructions in your email marketing software to help you self-authenticate your domain name. Once you've done what you need to do in your email marketing tool, you will be given some code that needs to be pasted into your domain provider's record. So you have to have that published in your domain provider's records. And again, the links that I'm going to post in the comments will tell you how to do that. And you'll be able to also get help from your domain provider. I would say that it's not too late to do this. So if you've missed that 1st of February deadline, don't worry. Don't worry, it's not too late to do this, but you should do it because it is going to help you to be more trustworthy. It's going to get you into people's inboxes more quickly, more safely. You're going to be recognised as a safe sender. There's been a lot of noise about this, and I know lots of other email marketing experts have been talking about it, and some of them have been talking about it in a way that it's something to be scared of. And I would say that really it's a good thing. And I'll reiterate that it's a good thing because we don't want to be competing with bulk senders who, you know, are just getting into people's inboxes. There's enough competition in the inbox anyway. Those bulk senders should be going to spam. They should be going to the junk folders. And what should be happening is that you, who have built an organic list in a really good way in terms of asking people's permission, you should have the privilege of getting into those inboxes and having people build a really good, stable, authentic relationship with your business. So if you have any questions, let me know. I don't see any questions in the chat, but that's a short and sweet kind of overview of what has happened. And I see as things, you know, as we move on with email marketing, I see these email providers really getting more and more strict with bulk senders who are not behaving well, who are, you know, trying nefarious tactics and you know, not getting permission and sending emails that people don't want. So it's going to be ever more increasingly important that you get permission to send people emails. And that is dictated in law. We have legislation that means that you have to get permission. If you're not sure whether you're compliant or how that affects you, check that out. I will post links to pages on the ICO, the Information Commissioner's Office, website. And you'll be able to look at, there's two pieces of legislation when it comes to email marketing. There's GDPR and there's something called PECR, P-E-C-R, which it governs electronic communications, and those two should work hand in hand. I'll post some links to an overview of those, but you need to be compliant. And as long as you're doing the right things and you're being transparent with what you do with people's information and how often they'll hear from you, you will stay on the right side of all these new kind of bits of legislation or steps that email providers are putting in to help keep our inboxes a good place to be. So short but sweet, I will come in and post some links to the resources that I said, but please do authenticate. If you've got your own domain name, you need to go into your email service provider, follow the steps and self-authenticate. If you are using a free email software to as your business email, so you're sending from at gmail.com or at yahoo.com or at outlook.com, check to see if your email service provider is authenticating those emails for you. I'm sure that every single one of them has thought about small businesses that don't have their own domain names. So that's it for today. Join me in 2 weeks' time. I'll be back with more marketing news, but I really wanted to make sure that you've got this today and know that it's not too late to do the things that you need to do to make sure that your emails get into people's inboxes. I'll see you in 2 weeks.